Welcome to our first subsection under reflection, which is going to be looking at the application of the SAMR model. In this subsection, we are going to be looking at substitution, we are going to be looking at reflection, we are going to be looking at modification and redefining. So I can say that in this lesson that we had, if I'm going to be looking at the use of the video, which was a substitution of just merely talking to the learners and introducing the video, gave what I can say that it gave motivation to the learners. The learners got engaged and they were ready for the lesson. They were very much aroused and they paid attention, which made it easier for the teacher to then quickly introduce the concept of fractions through interaction. So that was very effective. And if I'm looking at, if I can look at the students themselves, there was talking about the reflection. The video was of great advantage because the oranges themselves, they had a punch in making the learners understand the video. The video, which we said in the earlier on, was part of the motivation that was given to the learners. However, there was one learner who I think was angry, and the attention was on the fruit rather than the concept that we were teaching. So that was a weakness on our on our media that we used, the technology that we used. Then if we look at the modification after the video, which was on the oranges and the sharing of the oranges, we then had to use the soap. The soap bars that were given to the learners so that the learners can engage, cutting the soap into equal parts and sharing them equal parts into their groups, the groups which had different numbers. There were group number 1 had 1 member, the group number 2 had 2 members, group number 3 had 3 members, and so on and so on. So the learners had to use the rulers. Of course, the ruler instead of a knife would be, of course, a precaution to just make sure that the learners could not cut themselves or could not use the knife as a weapon, or probably a mistake could have happened. But however, it was of great use to use the ruler for measuring portions that were equal to their number, and also learners took advantage, of course, using the ruler as a tool to cut, which was very good. And that was a very good a part of the modification. And we then look at redefining, and there was a use of technology which allowed learners to go an extra mile, especially in the last part of the lesson where the learners had to use a downloaded chart of equivalent fractions. That was very good, as learners took time to discuss, interrupt, and they had to straight away go into the activity, which was easy for them to do because they were using the equivalent chart that they got from the teacher, and it was a downloaded chart from the computer. Thank you so much. Let's meet in our next video.